Greetings. Today we begin 1 Peter chapter 3 in our study. We'll be considering the first 4 verses, and it's entitled The Mutual Submission Clause, Part 1. 1 Peter 3:1 says, Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation or the manner of life of the wise, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing gold or putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. Now, in message 17, entitled Using Liberty Correctly, we discussed Titus chapter 2, verse 9, where it said, Exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters and to please them well in all things, not answering again. Application is now made to the husband-wife relationship. And then it will also be made to our submission to one another in the Lord. 1 Peter 3:1 literally says, the wives in the same manner, being placed in order to their own unique husbands, in order that if also any husbands they obey not by means of the word, they may be won, that is, over to obedience, without word, by means of the manner of life of the wives. We go all the way back to Genesis 3:16, where we find the declaration, And unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Now, if we remember that God is ruler over all people, things, etc., then we should gladly receive our place in his ordered ranks of subordination. We'll see 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Now, this verse establishes a short list of rankings from top down. God, then his Son, Jesus Christ, then man, then woman, and implied then is the children who come of the union of the woman and the man. Let me say, God's plan will work most effectively only when we voluntarily choose to accept our assigned place and perform our assigned duties. 1 Corinthians 7:16 says, For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? Now, if we look back to verses 11 through 15 that precedes this, to put it in its proper perspective, the idea is if one party is a believer and the other is not, they're admonished to not abandon the relationship. Abandonment will not allow for a consistent testimony to lead the unbeliever to Christ. Further, the admonitions of 1 Peter 2:13 and 2:18 are being applied to the husband-wife relationship in 1 Peter 3:1. 1 Peter 2:13 said, Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme. Verse 18, it said, Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the froward. Ephesians 5:22, again a familiar and kind of parallel passage, says, Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.